Hello again, everyone. So I'm here again now to discuss to you the introduction to engineering economy. Okay, so of course, let's now familiarize ourselves with the definition of engineering economy. So what is engineering economy? So engineering economy, uh, it deals with the study of cash flow, interest, discounting, depreciation, and the value of money corresponding to the time period. So as you already know that let's start with the study of cash flow. So cash flow, what is cash flow? So cash flow, it is usually the counterpart of the free body diagram in physics. Okay, so now what we have here for physics, we have there the FBD, which is we call free body diagram. But in engineering economy, that is CFD or cash flow diagram. And of course, that is the interest. We will have a definition later on that. Discounting depreciation of products and the value of money corresponding to the time period because the value of money always changes due to time. Okay. So the next terminology will be money. So what is money? So of course we all know what is money is, but what is the true definition of money? So we can say that it is used as a medium of payment, of course for trading purposes, and it is also the measure of the person's wealth. Okay. And for the third one, so for the third one, what is interest? Okay. So interest, it is the amount of money added to the original amount due to delayment of repayment. Okay? So, for example, you are to borrow a money to a bank or to other person. So, as time passes by, let's say you borrowed, let's say 2,000, okay, 2,000 pesos. Then, after a certain period of time, you have to pay that back. Now, it will no longer be 2,000 because it will now have an interest. Let's say it will now become 2,500. Therefore, because of the delayment of repayment, and you have to give it back, you are not giving back the same money. You have to give it back with more value, which is, and the added value is called interest. In that case, you borrowed 2,000, you return it 2,500. Therefore, the interest is just 5,000. Okay. Next, what is interest rate? It is the quantity that tells how fast the money is growing. This is usually in percent interest rate per period. So for interest rate, so let's say again for the same example, you borrowed 2,000 and it came back and you have to give it back 2,500. Okay. Therefore, the interest rate in that is the 25%. So all you have to do for the interest rate is to divide it is the quotient of the borrowed money all over the money you have to give it back. Okay. We will have a formulas later on so that you won't be confused. Okay. So next we have the present worth. Is the principal amount or the present value of money. So to make it simpler, present worth, that is the money that you borrowed. Okay, or that is of for example, again you borrowed 2,000. 2,000 is called the present worth. That's it. And then for the future worth, of course, we have a present worth. We will also have a future worth. So what is future worth? Is the amount of money after a certain period of time. In that case, for our same example, the future worth is 2,500. Again, to summarize it, 2,000 is the present worth. Future worth is just 2,500. Therefore, if you will subtract future and present, that will be your interest, which is 500 pesos. Okay, now, so going to our first lesson. For the first lesson of engineering economy, we have the simple interest. So there are two types of simple interest. This is really easy. This will be, the first one will be the ordinary simple interest. So ordinary simple interest, if you are asked to compute for the ordinary simple interest, we will we will consider that there are only 360 days per year. The 360 days per year is also called the banker's year. I will explain that later on why it is a banker's year. So 30 days per month, there are only 30 days per month, and of course we have 12 months a year. So the second one is of course the exact simple interest. For exact simple interest, now you have to consider the exact numbers of months. Okay, so what you will have here, of course, we have 365 days per year, and we only have the February will only have a 28 days only. And then if it is leap year, okay, it will now be 360 days per year because February now has 29 days. And of course, we all know how can you know that if a year is a leap year? So of course, leap year, a year which is exactly divisible by 4 and has a total of 366 days per year. This is for our Julian calendar. This is what we use. That is the calendar that we are using. However, there's still a hidden rule for rules for leap year, but I just want to make it simple, so I won't discuss it anymore here. And I think we can go to our sample problems. Okay, so before we go to our sample problems, I will just discuss the formula that we will use. So this is really easy. I think we only have one formula for this topic. That is, I, I must be equal to, that must be capital. I must be times 2, PIN. I equal to I must be equal to PIN. For the So I there will be your interest. Okay, that will be your interest. Your I is your interest, and P will be your present or principal amount. I will be your interest rate, that must be in percent, and N must be in years. Okay, so going now to our example. Okay, so we have our first problem here. So we have here for number 1, a man deposited 5,000 pesos in a bank at a rate of 10% per annum. So for 10 months and 25 days. So find the ordinary simple interest and the accumulated amount. So first and foremost, the word the annum is also that also means per year. Okay, so now let's just try to put all the given. Okay, the given. So we have here the 5,000. 5,000, that is the man deposited 5,000. So the idea here is what will happen is the man deposited 5,000 in a bank, and after 10 months and 25 days, he will now get again the money. And of course, the money now will no longer be 5,000 because it will now accumulate an interest for 10 months and 25 days. Okay. So 5,000, that will be your, yes, that will be your present worth, or that is our P. Okay. So P must be equal to 5,000 pesos. Okay. Now, what is 10%? As you can see, that is in percent. Therefore, that is your interest rate. Okay. So this will be I, or the interest rate will be your, that is 10%. So now, what is 10 months and 25 days? That is your N, but that is not yet your N. So let's just put here 10 months and 25 days because N must be in years. So now we are required to find what? We are required now to find, okay, we are now required to find, okay, the ordinary simple interest. Therefore, the interest. But take note that is in ordinary. So that is your I. Okay, so now we are looking for this. We don't know that. And it must be ordinary. Okay, and the second one, we also have the accumulated amount. So when you say accumulated amount, that is also your future worth. So that is F. Okay, now for the solution, we have now for the solution. I think I can do this by hand. Okay, let's try to do this by hand. So doing this, you'll have now, we already have a, so we are now finding for I, or the interest. So remember that the I is equal to, just make it I is equal to P times I n. Okay, so that's P times I times n. We already have the value for P, right? That is 5,000. And we also have the value for I, which is 10%. So if you will now put I here, that is not 10. That must be in his decimal. The decimal of that is 0.1 or 0.10. Okay, and your n, again, going back to our formulas, n must be in years. But as you can see, our n here is 10 months and 25 days. So let's just compute for n. So n must be in years, right? Therefore, I have to compute 10 months, computing 10 months. So 10 months, right? So 10 months, I have to convert this by years. Again, we have in 1 month, there is how many days? There are 30 days. Okay, okay. There are 30 days, right? And it is because it is in ordinary. If we are computing for ordinary simple interest, we have 30 days per month. Okay? And plus, since this is already in days, 25 days. So plus 25. It will This will become, that's 30 times 10, that's 300 plus 25. That is 200, 325 days. Okay. Now, so substituting now the values to I, so we can compute for I. So I now will be equal to, again, the P, or the present amount, is 5,000. Okay. Times now the I. Remember that I must be in decimal. So that will be 0.10. That is your I. And your N must be 325 days. But that must be in years. Therefore, that's 325 days, and converting that into year, that will become times, there are 360 days, because it is ordinary only. So 360 days in 1 year. Therefore, that is already in year. So if you will compute that, the answer will be, that must be in pesos. The answer will be 451.3889. So that's 451.3889. There you go. So that is your answer. But okay, so we are able now to compute for I. We still have to compute for the future worth. So remember, for future worth, that is the amount that the man will be getting after 10 months and 25 days. Therefore, formulating the formula for future worth, so F must be equal to the original amount, which is the principal amount P, plus the interest. And we have both value for that. So value for P, that is 5,000, plus of course the interest is this one, that is 451.3889. There you go. Therefore, your final answer will be, that must be in pesos. So that is 5,451.389. Okay. Now that is your future worth, and this will be your interest. Okay, so let's go to the next problem. Okay, so going to the next problem, so we have a farmer went to the bank to loan 4,000 pesos. So at a rate of 12% per annum, again, per annum is also equivalent to per year. And if the farmer went to the bank at January 10, 1999 and plans to pay the debt on November 4, 1999, how much will exact simple interest be? So we are looking for the exact simple interest. So again, let's put all the given that we have here. Okay, so of course we have here the 4,000. That will be the amount received. Therefore, that will be your present amount. Okay, so your present amount is 4,000 pesos, and we have a rate of 12% per annum. Therefore, that will be your interest rate. So that is I must be equal to 12%. Again, if you will put this on the equation, it must not be 12. It must be in decimal point. So that is 0.12. Okay, so what we have? And we also have N, but our N is from January 10. I just put January 10, 1999 to November 4, 1999. So now we are required now to find what? How much will the exact simple interest be? So we are now looking for I. Okay. Okay, so this must be in, but now exact. It must be in exact. You have to take note of that. Okay, so okay, so for the solution, we already have again the formula for I is for simple interest or the exact simple interest. We still have P times the interest rate times the N, which is in years. But all we have to do is we have to count the days between January 10 to November 4. Okay. Okay, so counting those out, I will just list down all the months. So that we have January, February, March, April, and May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. Of course, we won't have any December because December is not included on the dates. Okay, and then we have to count all the days here. Okay, so counting the days here. Okay, so the first question is January 10 and November 4 included? Now the answer is, for example, we will just make a real life scenario. If you are to borrow a money to your friend at January 10, there's a small chance that you will also return it at the same day. Therefore, January 10 is not included because if you loan a money, especially for this problem, in the bank at January 10, you will not return the money at January 10 also. Therefore, January 10 must not be included. But if you are to get, if you are to borrow again a money to your friend, you borrow the money January 10, and he said that you can pay until November 4, and your deadline is November 4. Therefore, you can pay up to November 4. Therefore, November 4 must be included. You have to keep that in mind. Okay, so counting the days, again, January 10 is not included. So January, it has a 31 days all in all. Therefore, it will now become 31 minus 10. 10 days. 31 days minus 10 days because that is from January 1 to January 10. And then we will only count here that is only 21. And for February, as you can see, that's 1999. That is not a leap year. Therefore, February only has 28 days. Okay. So for March, we have here 31. And that is a pattern. That's 31, 28, 31, 30. We have 30 days, 31, and then 30, and then 31. And we have a special case. Remember that July and August are consecutive months that has both 31 days. So August and July has both 31 days. Okay. And then September. That's 30. October is 31 days. And for November, we will not count the whole month because that is only for November 4. Okay, so what will happen? Let me just get it back. Okay, this is November 4. So summing all this up, okay, you will have here 298. If you just use your calculator, or you can do mental. That is 298 days. And that is the first solution. We also have a better solution, but the this is from case to case basis. So for we can have here our second solution. Okay. Oops. Okay. So for the second solution, okay, I think I just do type. I think that's better. Okay. So for the let's just make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So for the second solution, so instead of counting the days in between January to November, we can just count the days that are not included. Okay, so now for the days that are not included, we will now count the days that are not included, then just subtract it to the total number of days. Therefore, we have here January, and we also have days not included in November and December. Okay, so for January, the days that are not included are 10 days. That is from January 10 to January, and that is from January 1 to January 10. For November, again, you must remember that November 4 is included. Therefore, the only days included in November, that is November 1 and November 1 to November 4. Therefore, that not included are November 5 up to November 30. So that will be 30 days minus 4, or this is just equal to 26. Okay. Now, for the December, the whole December is not included. Therefore, that is 31. And adding all this up, okay, adding all this up, you'll have here 67. Okay, that is 67 days. But again, those are not the days included. But what we need are the days included. And all you have to do is just subtract this to the total number of days. So remember that is 1999. 1999 is not a leap year. Therefore, we only have 365. Sorry. So we have here 365 days minus now the days that are not included, which is 67, and that will also give you 298 days. And as you can see, you will also come up with the same answer. But again, that is not yet your answer, and that is not yet our answer. Therefore, substituting it, we can now compute for the I, which is equal to PIN. Okay, that's P times the interest rate times N, which is must be in years. So our P is, we already have P, which is 4,000. So we have a 4,000 times I, which is in interest rate, that must be 0.12, and N. N must be again in years. So this must be 298. Convert it in years, you have to convert it into total number of days, which is 365. If you will compute this, I must be in, again, that must be in peso. This is equal to 391.8904. That's 391.80904. And that will be the exact simple interest. Okay, so let's go to the next problem. Okay, so for our third problem, so we have a man deposited 3,000 in a bank of, oh sorry, in a bank at a rate of 8% per annum. So from May 8 to 1994, May 8, 1994 to September 18, 1996. So again, let's just put all the given that we have. So again, P, or your present amount, or principal amount, that will be your deposited amount, which is 3,000. Okay, so that's 3,000, and then at the rate of 8% per annum again. So that is your interest rate. So that is 8%. And and remember that you will not put this as 8%. This is also equivalent to 0.08. And we have our N, which is from May 8, 1994 to um, September 18, that's 1996. Okay, so we are now required to find what? We are now required to find exact simple interest. So we are now asked again to find I. Okay, and this must be exact. Okay, um, exact. Okay, so for the solution again, I'll just make a big here. So for the solution, let's just again, we already have value for P and I, and all we need is the value for N, and we are now looking for exact. Therefore, what we have to do again is we have to count all the days between May 8, 1994 to September 18, 1996. So this is quite a long solution. Okay, but bear with me, we can do this. Okay, so let's try out now. Let's try to count first for the year 1994. Okay, so we will start from May. Okay, that's May, June, July. We have August, September, October, November, and December. So counting all the days there, you'll have again May 8 is not included. Therefore, not included is May 1 to 8. So that is we only have that is how many days do we have in May? That's 30. So we have 31 days in May. That's 31 minus 8. So we have here only 23, right? So that's 23. For June, we have 30. July, we have 31. Again, July and August has both 31 days. And this is September has 30 days. 31, 30, and 2, 30. December 31. Okay, so we are now counting the days. Let's just put some equal so that you guys will not be confused. Okay, so adding all those up, you'll have here 237. So that's 237 days. Okay, so now let's try to find now for year. So let's say we are now for year what 1995. Yeah, 95. So for 1995, all the days in 1995 are included, right? So we have 365 days for 1995. So that's 395 days. Okay, so we don't have to compute for that. Okay, so let's try next for the uh, year 1996. Now we have to start again from January to September. So that's January, Feb, March, and April, May, June, July, August, September. Okay, I think um no, just October. Mm-hmm. October. Okay, let's just stop for that from that because the space is not no longer. And then let's try to count for from January. January we have 31 days. Again, remember that 1996 is a leap year. Okay? Because 1996 is exactly divisible by 4. So February will have 29 days. Remember that. And then we have March for 31. And that's 30. May we have 31. June we have 30. And again, July will have 31 and also goes for August. September will have also 30 days. It's 30 days. And October will have 31 days. Okay. And then, oh, nope, we have, oh no, sorry. We don't need November. We just need up to September, right? So we don't have, we will not count September. We only have up to 18. So this is 18 days. Okay. So summing all this up, you'll have 262. So we have 262 days. Okay, but I think it will be easier if per year. Okay, so instead of this, let's just count the days that are not included instead of the days that are included. Okay, so counting those, you'll have, okay, not included. Um, count, so counting the days that are not included. Okay, so that is from year 1994. The days that are not included is we have here January, February, March, April, and May. Okay, so let's just count all the days. For January, we have 31 days. And February, since 1994, be careful with that. That is not a leap year. Okay, so we only have 28 for that. And March, we have 31. And April, we have 30. And May, days that are not included. Remember that May 8 is not included. Therefore, this is 8 days. Okay, so adding those all up, you will have here 128 days. But again, that is the days that are not included. Therefore, all you have to do here is subtract, that is 365 days. We have a total of 365 days for 1994 minus 128 days. And you will just get the same answer, which is 237 days. So this is done what we'll use. As you can see, we both got the same answer. And for 1995, again, we will have here 395. Okay, and then we can just jump into year 1996. Let me just remove the italic here, and this must not be italic. Okay, for 1996, so instead of we are now counting the days that are not included. Therefore, just starting from September, October, November, and December. So September, again, September 18 is included. Therefore, we are counting from September 19 into September 31. Okay, so that will be 31 minus, no, that's 30 minus 18. We have 30 days for September, so that is only 12. And August has 31 days, November has 30 days, while December has 31 days. Okay. Okay, so adding all this up, you'll have 104. Okay, 104 days. Okay. Then again, 104 is not the days that we need. We need the days that are included. Therefore, you have to subtract this to the total number of days. Remember that this is a leap year. So this must be 366 days minus 104 days. And this will also be equal to this 262 days. Okay. So as you can see, we all have the same, we were able to get the same answers. Okay, so let's go back to, I think now I can write. Okay, so writing this down, you'll have, to get now the I, that will be equal to, again, that's P times the interest rate times N, which is years. Therefore, this is equal to, we have P, which is 3,000, and I is 0.08. How about for the N? Remember that N must be in years. Therefore, we have first the 1994, which is 237. So 237, convert that into years. Okay, so that is How many days do we have here? We have 1994, that's 365. Okay, 365 plus, again, this is 4, this is 1994, year 1994, okay. And then we have here the 365 days, so that will become 365 over the total days, which is also 365, plus now, for the 1996. Okay, so let's say that this is your 1995, and for the last one we have 262, so that is 262 all over. Remember that we have here 366 days, 366. Okay, and all you have to do is just input that in your calcul. Remember that this part, that is your 90, 96. Okay, so if you will just input that in your calcu, therefore we can say that I is equal to 566.983. Okay, 566.983. 9831. Okay, so that is your exact simple interest. Hello. Okay, so going to number 4, we have the principal amount is 90% of the accumulated amount. So what is the interest rate in 4 months and 4 days? So as you can see, let's just write down all the given again. So we have here the principal amount. So we have the principal amount, that is P, right? So P, it is equal to the 90% of what? Of the future amount. Of the future amount, which is our symbol for that is F, right? Or we can also write this as P is equal to, writing the 90% into decimal, we will have 0.9 F. Okay. What is the interest rate in 4 months and 4 days? So we also have the N, which is it must be in years. It is 4 months and 4 days. Now, we are required to find what? Interest rate. Therefore, that is the small I. Okay? And okay, so this must be in percent. Okay, then so our final answer must be in percent. Okay, so let's try to know the solution. Let's write the solution. So writing the solution, you'll have here. Remember, okay, I'll go back to writing. For the solution, remember that P is equal to, oh no, sorry, not P. I, or the interest, is equal to P times the interest rate, okay, times N. But we also know that the future worth must be the summation of, present worth plus interest. Therefore, we can say that the future worth, or F, must be equal to the present worth, or the principal amount, added by the interest. Okay, so all you have to do is substitute this here, since that is I. Therefore, I will have here F must be equal to P plus P. This is your I, N. Okay? Therefore, I can, as you can see, P is a common factor. I can bringing P out, factoring out P, you'll have P that is just 1 plus I, N. There you go. But Okay, so we were able to obtain this formula, but we know that this one, P is equal to 0.9 F, right? Okay, having that, you'll have substituting P. So replacing P by zero point 0.9 F, you'll have F now will be equal to 0.9 F. Therefore, this is your P. And then times it by 1 plus IN. 1 plus IN. Okay. As you can see, we have a common, again, for the both sides, that is, we have here a future worth and we have also here a future worth. Therefore, we can cancel that out. So canceling that out, so cancel F, cancel F. Therefore, you'll have here 1 equal to, okay, 0.91 plus IN. Okay. And then let's try to now isolate I, since I, or the interest rate, is the required. Okay. And then let's distribute zero point 0.9. So 1 equal to zero point 0.9. 0.9 times 1, that's zero point 0.9 plus zero point 0.9 IN. Okay. And then transpose zero point 0.9. Transpose zero point 0.9. You'll have 1 minus zero point 0.9. That is just zero point 0.1 equal to zero point 0.9 IN. Therefore, isolating I, you'll have here I is equal to, that is zero point 0.9 times N. So 0.9 times N. And then zero point 0.1 on the numerator. 0.1. Therefore, that will be your formula. And all we have to do is we have to find N. So N, again, we have here N is equal to what? 4 months and 4 days. So as you can see, there's no given if it is exact or ordinary. But if there's no given, you can just assume that it is ordinary. So ordinary will be 4 months times, there are 30 days per month. So 4 times 30. Okay? And then you have to plus this by 4 days. Okay? So this will become 100. That's 30 times 4, that's 120. So 120 for days. Okay, this is still in days. Okay, days. Therefore, all you have to do is substitute this 124 into here. Okay, but this is not your n, right? Your n must be equal to 124 because this must be in years. So this is, that is an ordinary. Therefore, there is only 360 days. So this is your n. Okay. So therefore, you have here I now will be equal to 0 0.1 over zero point 0.9, okay, okay, zero point 0.9 times your n is 124 over 360. Okay, therefore your I will be, let me just get my calculator to do that. That will be zero point 0.1 divide zero point 0.9 divide 124 and then times 360. And don't forget, whatever you answer here, since that is interest rate, it must be times by 100 to make it in percentage. So times 100, okay? So times 100, you'll have 32.258. Therefore, you'll have your 32.258.1. And this must be in percent. And there you go. That will be your final answer. So I think that's it for this video, and I hope you learned a lot from this video. And again, if you have any question, just leave it on the comment down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that if I will upload a new video, you will be notified as soon as possible. So don't forget to subscribe and also watch the lesson too. So I think that's it, and thank you everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.